heaps of people were kind of like, that's a really cool idea. You should make a thing of it. So one day I sat down at home with a beer and I just sat there. I bought Dogecoin.com. That's a bit funny. And I slapped the Doge face onto a coin and just put it live. And I wake up the next day to heaps of retweets. And my co-founder, who's based up in Portland, had messaged me and said, hey, I found that you can change I forked the Bitcoin source code or the Litecoin source code, and you can change the font to Comic Sans. I'm like, ooh, okay, we got to do this. Like, that's hilarious.
Let's move on to Bitcoin, shall we? That's a virtual
Bitcoin has now almost overtaken
all-time high this week of $900. Now, at its peak, if you have invested $1,000 a year,
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome. How's everybody doing on this Wednesday? Yes, halfway through the week, hump day, all of that. And this chart, not great. Not great this morning. We had a bit of a crypto dump. 10.25 cents for Dogecoin right now. And Bitcoin did drop below 59K. And it is still kind of floating around down here, 58.9 right now, as we're starting the stream here. Not great. Not great. But even despite all of that, Dogecoin is still the most profitable meme coin. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what that means as most profitable. Because some of you are saying, Kriss, I made a 10x or a 20x or a 30x on this, that, and I was just like, most profitable in what terms? We'll talk about that. But still a 10-cent Dogecoin. I mean, come on, guys, 10-cent Dogecoin. In April, you were buying 20-cent Dogecoin. In May, you were buying 18 or 17-cent Dogecoin. In June, you were buying 15-cent, 14-cent Dogecoin. And in July, well, you could have gotten on a dip at about 8 cents, but it was generally up at this area. And here we are in August, and we're still 10-cent Dogecoin. Why hasn't it moved yet? Well, if you guys have been watching me and you've been listening, I didn't say August. I didn't say July. I didn't say June, right? We were talking about the summer. People have gone away. Crypto is not going to go rocketing up. So we'll start looking for September, possibly. Although traditionally it's more October where you see the biggest gains, at least in the history, on a yearly basis, trading of crypto. That's October, right? But we still have a lot of people in the profit, though. There's a lot of people who are still profitable, even today with Dogecoin at this price, that are in the green, which is good, because if you got red days, as Jason says, red days are buy days. But if you've got red days and your whole portfolio is in the red, you feel it a little more, right? It's just like, my whole portfolio is down. I've got quite a few now of my crypto holdings that are in the red. Mostly ones that I've bought over the past few months. They're in the red. My Doge overall is in the green. But I did buy a little bit of Doge at 17 cents, and I bought more at 13 cents. And so that bit of Doge is in the red, but compared to my overall holdings, I'm in the green. So, but we got a lot to cover, not only Dogecoin, but also Bitcoin, what's going on, why I'm bullish on Bitcoin as well. But you hear that from like all these other YouTubers too. But you're going to get a little bit of Kriss's take on it on one specific thing that maybe the other guys haven't mentioned. And then there's Cardano. It's like, Cardano, really? Cardano? Yeah, we could have actually a little run coming on Cardano as well. So we're going to talk about that as well. So let me drop down here in the corner. Lot to cover today, even though the price is what it is. Looks like Bitcoin did just come back over 59K. We need to get back up into the 60s though, to feel more comfortable and that we're not looking at maybe a bigger dump happening tonight. I don't want to see that. I want to see this recover back up here. Some of you are saying, oh, I want it to drop lower so I can buy more. Guys, you've had so much time to buy on dips. Last Monday, what were you doing? There was a huge dip. Oh, I wanted to go lower. Well, you could have bought last summer. 6-cent Dogecoin. I'm just saying. I was buying. Some of you were buying at that same time. I just wanted to go up now. Personally, I'm just looking out for myself. You guys who are waiting for another dip, I'm sorry. I can't root for that with you. I just can't. I can't root for the dip anymore. Let's just go. Let's just effing go. Right? Let's just go. But it's not time yet. We need to be patient. And I remind myself all the time to be patient. But meanwhile, it is Kriss Crypto time. Welcome. Kriss time. Hit the like all. Elijah, thank you, everybody. Hit the like. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. We're talking cryptocurrency. We concentrate a lot on Dogecoin on this channel. We talk about other memes. And we talk about other cryptos as well, because it all relates together. Personally, I want all cryptos to go up. You've heard me say this. I want all cryptos to go up, and I want everybody to get rich. That's what I'd like. Matt says, I ask myself if I have enough Dogecoin. Nope, you need more. Exactly. Need more. I finally moved my Doge to a cold wallet. It cost 4 Doge to move $90,000 worth of Doge. That's it. Doge is cheap. There's no ETH gas fees here, right? It's Doge. That's cheap. To move that much, I don't know why more people don't use Dogecoin. Cheers, everyone. I do have a drink as well, typical on my streams. Good reason not to stream in the morning. I'm not going to be drinking in the morning. If Kamala wins, I don't want to talk about if Kamala wins. So it may still work out all right. Probably not as good as if Trump wins for crypto, but Dogecoin's going to the moon. DJ Yen says there's nothing more to know. If the Dems win the election, are you going to sell? I don't know, man. I don't even want to think about that right now. We're still too early. We still have a long ways to go before election day. It's just under 3 months now. Are there going to be debates? Is Harris actually going to talk about policies? Is there going to be an interview about what she thinks about anything, or is she just going to have scripted rallies? I don't know. I want to hear what she's going to say. What's going to be different than the way things have been with Biden? We know nothing. We know nothing. If Doge gets integrated into X, the price will go up no matter when it is. It could be in the middle of a bear market and Doge will go up. We have seen Doge take off in price while the rest of the crypto market was in the red. We saw that in April 2021. Bitcoin had already hit 64,000, was going down, and Doge took off. And when Doge took off, then the rest of the crypto market then started turning around and following it. But it was Doge that led the way. That would happen again. What's the difference between shorting now versus shorting in 2026? The market makers are wiping out shorts now. Anytime there's a little run, they wipe out the shorts. Particularly in an overall bull market, which I think we're still in. So now's not the time to be shorting. People do it and they're gambling. They're guessing on short movements down in the market. For instance, this morning, if you had bought Bitcoin, well, we'll use Bitcoin as an example. If you bought Bitcoin here at 61.7 and you shorted it down, right, to 59.7, maybe that was your target, a $2,000 change in the price of Bitcoin, right? And you shorted that down. You made money on that. And then hopefully you booked your profit down here. That's the type of move that is done shorting in an overall bull market. But just as easy, this price could have just kept going up and would have triggered your stop loss and liquidated your short position. Because you don't know in a bull market that when it's going to happen, but the trend is up. And this whole market is going to turn around. Shorting is you're guessing right now and gambling on these short-term moves, and you don't know when they're going to happen. Nobody predicted this drop this morning. The CPI data actually looked okay. Why did the market dump? I can tell you, and you know what my answer is. Leverage, taking out leverage. $39 million in Bitcoin taken out in leverage today. ETH, $44 million in leverage. The market makers seek out opportunities to drop the price, and they drop it. Was there any fear? Was there anything going on? Yeah, there is this, what's the US government doing with its big stash of Bitcoin? Apparently there was a bunch that was moved again to an exchange. So I guess someone within the Biden administration was listening to Trump when Trump said that he wouldn't sell any of the Bitcoin that was held in reserves for the United States. And then somebody in the Biden administration said, all that Bitcoin's just sitting there? We could sell it and make money. Yeah, apparently that seems to be kind of what's happening. And that could spook a few people. Maybe someone decides to sell. And then before you know it, Bitcoin has gone down $2,500. And that kind of dump then leads to this kind of, didn't get that. Leads to this kind of liquidation here. Big liquidation. Just in an hour, $33 million liquidated. And then the following hour, following that, $22 million liquidated. And that's just this morning. That's what they're going after. They're sniping the leverage longs, taking them out when they can. That's all I got. That's all I got on it right there. So we have that. I'm not shorting. I am not shorting in this bull market. Because what'll happen, then my short will show up on some exchange, right? And it'll get sniped. Price will come up and I'll lose on the short. I'm not willing to risk that. I will continue to buy on the dips, and I will continue to hold, and I will let this bull market play out, and I will show you a chart in just a little bit. I will show you a chart, which you may have seen before, that shows you what I'm waiting for. And it hasn't happened yet. Particularly with Dogecoin. It hasn't happened yet. I can't tell you guys what to do. I'm not short. I'm not short in this market. No way. Especially with Doge at 10.3 cents. Obviously, the time to short Doge is when it spiked up to 22 cents. But that's hindsight, right? You know what hindsight is. Ryan says, I'm not sure I'd hinge the future of crypto on Trump. Crypto is a lot more than which candidate wins. And that is true. We think Trump will probably have more beneficial policies towards crypto holders, but overall, even if Harris wins, that doesn't stop cryptocurrency, and it doesn't stop the bull market. There may be a little dip there, but everyone will figure it out and move on. Patience is a virtue. Exactly. What's the likelihood we see 22 cents in December for Doge? Zena. I think that would be pretty tough right now. 22 cent Doge. To get back up to that level is doubling in price. And I don't see Doge doubling in price in September unless, again, there's some big catalyst that hits Doge, but I don't see that coming right now. So we need more patience than that. Need more patience. No dip, want rip. Exactly. Exactly. You've got a $1.6 million Doge bag. Cheers. You'll be ready. It might be a little high, but I think that will pay off. What is a good number to have, Miguel asks. Well, Miguel, that is different for everybody, right? Your financial position is different than mine and Ryan's and everybody else here, right? Everybody has a different financial strategy, a different amount you're willing to put into crypto because it is risky, right? It's risky. So that good number to have, you're going to have to figure out based on your risk and reward tolerance. What are you willing to bet on it? So that's up to you. And what's wrong with drinking in the morning? Well, particularly because I work during the day, right? I do have a job. And today was a little stressful, but it's a job. And I got to keep my job. And, you know, I got bills to pay. Crypto ain't paying bills right now. We hope it does in 6 months. Hope it pays all the bills. But right now, we dipped because the US government moved 10,000 Bitcoin to Coinbase. Could be for custody or it could be for selling. Don't know, Davey. If they wanted it for custody, why? I mean, they already have it in a wallet, right? They already have custody of it. Why do you need Coinbase to take custody of what you already are in custody of? Love the liquidations. I think a lot of that leverage trading has actually been keeping the crypto market down. Too much leverage trading. It's kept the market down and suppressed it this summer. Overall, low volume over the summer. And again, the exchanges and market makers not wanting the leverage traders to win. 22-cent Doge in December? We could be. We could be. Hey, my price prediction was 20 cents, and I made that way back in January. Still in play. Kriss's predictions are pretty good. Doge will fly beginning of 2025. Could be aesthetic. Again, it comes to when's the right time for it to move based on news. It's going to take that catalyst to make it run. Since they keep sweeping the longs, that tells me we're going to go up. I keep saying that. And but then new leverage trades are made and they dip the market again. And they dip it and they dip it and they dip it. Every time there's a move up, as soon as there's another move down, right? Take out more. So overall, red for the most part across the market. We've got some movers. Aave is the big mover now. I do have a little bag of Aave, so I'm happy about that. But then we got Toncoin, which is separating a little more from Doge in the top 10. Ton, it just has a lot of momentum behind it. It's like, wow. Wow. So that's on the positive. On the negative, well, Celestia went up so much last week that it's pulling back. But then WIF, Bonk, Stacks. I don't know why Stacks is down so much. I would have think Stacks would have been closer to Bitcoin. But so that's kind of the movers right now overall. But yeah, we do have Toncoin now at 17 billion, 17.6 billion, and Doge is at 14.9. So big separation now here between Toncoin and Doge. Cardano we'll talk about in a little bit. Again, I was predicting Cardano would be flipping Doge. Unfortunately, sorry, Doge holders, but I still think that is still in play of Cardano eventually going on a run and flipping Doge and probably Ton and maybe even XRP as well. And of course, you guys know what I think about XRP. But yeah, Cardano making that kind of move. Yeah, maybe I'll show you an article on that in just a little bit. So Dogecoin, what can we say? Doge price eyes, let me turn that off. Doge eyes 7% gains as whales. Whale accumulation. So this is what we've got, right? Again, who's buying on the dip? Who's keeping Doge afloat? It's the whales. The whales continuing to accumulate lots of Dogecoin. And of course, we need that too, because you know how much Dogecoin is made every minute. Every minute there is Dogecoin, right? We can go to the Doge chain, right? Doge chain dot, right? And we can see on the Doge chain site, all the Dogecoin that is made. Essentially, it's every minute. Doge chain info kind of block brings them together, but a new block is made essentially every minute, which is 10,000 Dogecoin. It's 10,000 Dogecoin. And that Dogecoin goes to the miner that validated those transactions on the blockchain by solving the mathematical problem with their mining rig, and are awarded 10,000 Doge every minute. 10,000 Doge, 10,000 Doge, 10,000 Doge, 10,000 Doge, 10,000. That adds up, right? So in order to keep the price up, somebody's got to be buying too. Because there are others who are selling who don't like all this additional Dogecoin. I keep hearing this in the comments, like people complain. It's like, there's too much new Dogecoin that's made all the time. Well, then, if you have a problem with it, why are you buying it? You know this is what the deal is. This is the deal. This is what keeps Dogecoin a safe and secure blockchain, is this right here. Those rewards to the miners help the Dogecoin network keep it secure while also adding to transactions. Proof of work cryptocurrencies are good. And we know Dogecoin has lower fees, faster transactions. We saw from Wei, right? Wei just transferred a crap ton of Dogecoin, and overall that the total cost to him was 4 Doge. To move all that Dogecoin, it cost him 4 Doge. So we have that. Whales are buying, right? Whales are accumulating Doge. Does that signal a rally ahead? Well, you like to see it. You like to see it, but the price increase isn't directly related to the whale buying. They just know that with 10-cent Dogecoin, you could buy a lot more Dogecoin at 10 cents than you can 20 cents, right? It's not that hard. So we are still in this accumulation season in the summertime, waiting for what we think is going to be the eventual big run in Doge. However, we also have the ups and downs of the summer that we've talked about. So Doge going down by 3%, not great. But again, it wasn't just Dogecoin that made this move this morning. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Algorand, Solana. Solana had actually gone on a run this morning and then lost that whole gain. Gone. Cardano, drop. All of them. They all did it. They all dropped. And we've talked about why that is. Litecoin's actually wasn't too bad. Litecoin's actually recovered. Good for Litecoin. But the rest of these drop, drop, drop. Even XRP drop, right? They all drop at the same time, following Bitcoin, because it's the whole market moves still with Bitcoin, unless you have a specific coin that's doing something specific, like Aave. We talked about Aave a little bit ago. Look at Aave's chart. That's different. I like that. But good news on the DeFi side for Aave. You get more buyers than sellers. Price goes up. So Aave was able to withstand that dip and actually just turn around and go higher. Eventually, we are waiting for that in Doge, where Doge doesn't get beaten down with the rest. And that time will come. But it's not yet. So what is this about? Most profitable meme coin. What's Kriss talking about? What is most profitable? I just made a ton of money on Trump coin or Mother or whatever the latest meme token is. Who knows? Now, we're talking about major meme coins here. of all the ones that have already made it, right? You're in the top 200 or top 100, right? You don't have that low market cap just starting out where there's always fear of the devs rugging the coin, right? These are the ones who've made it. So Doge is most profitable. How is it? How is Doge most profitable? So Doge has 4.6 million addresses. And that, Doge has 72% of its total addresses are in the money. That means they're positive. 72%. So most profitable, meaning most wallets, the most wallets of any of the major meme coins are profitable with Dogecoin. Next is Floki. Floki's number 2 with 70%. Good for Floki. But still a lot of bag holders with Floki as well. Even with the drop that has happened from the end of March, when Doge hit 22 cents, even after all of that drop, there is still 72% of all Dogecoin wallets that hold any Dogecoin are profitable. So as I said at the beginning, right? I hold a lot of Doge. I feel okay in this market because I'm in the green. And I'm in the green a significant percentage overall. It just makes you feel just a little better. But if you hold all your Doge, but you bought it at 20 cents and now it's down at 10 cents, you're not feeling as comfortable. And your wallet is in one of those that's in the 28%, right? That's not in the green. Then you're not feeling as great about things. Eventually, this is going to turn around. And I'll show you that chart in just a few minutes. But this is what this means. This is Doge, currently the most profitable. What about SHIB? What about others? SHIB only has about 50%. Only 50% of SHIB wallets are in profit. So there's a lot more SHIB holders that bought SHIB at a higher price than it is now. Here's another one, MOG. Anybody here own any MOG? MOG has 61%, but that's in third place. That's in third place. Now, SHIB is actually below 50, down to 46%. And there are more that are even lower, such as Bone and Cock Inu, Doge Elon Mars, and even MAGA, the Trump coin. It is now down over 80% in its price from the peak registered in June. Nearly 87% of MAGA token holders are in the red. So what are you investing in? Are you investing in the most profitable meme coin? Maybe you have Doge, but maybe you play around with some of these others as well. Could be. Like I do have a little Bonk and I do have a little Pepe for the inevitable next run. I'm actually in the green on Bonk, but in Pepe, I'm in the red. I'm a little down on the Pepe. I didn't get in when Bull Run told me to get in because I was like, Pepe, it's not going to do anything. Well, on that one, Bull Run was right. But my Doge is still looking pretty good. Overall, though, again, charting Dogecoin's road ahead. That's what you guys want to hear, right? That's what you want to know is, where's Dogecoin going? And I showed this chart yesterday, and we will look at it again today because we want to know what's ahead for Dogecoin. Because some of you are feeling a little, is Doge ever going to do okay? I mean, I see the comments, right? The Doge is dead comments they still come in. It's like, wow, you really want to comment on a Dogecoin video and say Dogecoin is dead? You don't have anything better to do with your time? I don't know. Or you can actually listen in, join in, watch the videos, watch the live streams, ask your questions if you have any, right? Be glad to talk about it. And then you can make an informed decision about putting your money into something like Doge. Your call. But we looked at Trader Target. We said, look, cryptocurrency so far has traded in cycles. And those cycles have been 4 years. And that 4-year cycle has conveniently been around the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving. So every 4 years, Bitcoin's rewards cut in half. Bitcoin is still over 50% of the overall crypto market. So every time there's a Bitcoin halving, that means that half as much Bitcoin is entering the market. And then, of course, just like Dogecoin, like we showed, Bitcoin is a reward to miners who are keeping the Bitcoin blockchain safe and secure. But unlike Dogecoin, which is 10,000 Doge every minute, Bitcoin's is every 10 minutes, and the reward gets cut in half every 4 years. And we just had that back in April for this cycle. We are now in the next epoch, right? Epoch 5, I guess, for Bitcoin. And typically, in the year of the Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin tends to be in a lull for a little bit following the halving, and then takes off. And then the year after the Bitcoin halving, we see a new all-time high for that cycle. But you say, Kriss, Bitcoin already hit a new all-time high. Yes, but that doesn't mean that is the all-time high for this entire 4-year cycle. I don't think we've seen it yet. Bitcoin is going to go higher than $73,000 a Bitcoin in this cycle, I believe. Because the last 3 times, the high for Bitcoin cycle has always been the year after the halving. We've had the halving this year for Bitcoin 2024, which means we would anticipate Bitcoin's all-time high for this cycle would happen sometime in 2025. Why is that? Why does it continue to follow this pattern? The pattern not only ties into Bitcoin's halving, but it also ties into monetary cycles throughout the world. Is liquidity entering the market? And how does it enter the market? It can be a number of ways. 4 years ago, the United States government was just handing everybody money, right? Remember the stimmy checks, right? We were all getting stimmy checks. A number of others around the world were getting them too. Or the government was increasing liquidity in other ways as well to spur the economy. Well, guess what? Every 4 years, we also happen to have a US presidential election in the United States. The sitting president does not want the economy to look bad, and they will do everything they can to keep the economy going leading up to the election. Which is why I believe September, October, and at least the first week of November we're going to be seeing the markets going up. And particularly crypto in October, which happens every year, we see a big run in crypto happen. Could it look like these big red candles we see here on Alan's chart here, trader tardigrade? This run right there, that's what we're looking for. Because look what happened for Dogecoin. Again, I talked about Bitcoin's halvings, but as Bitcoin trades, so trades the rest of the crypto market. Now Bitcoin's dominance is like 57%. 4 years ago, Bitcoin's dominance was over 70%. So cryptos followed Bitcoin even more closely than what they do today, because the dominance was even more back then. And what did Dogecoin do? Well, Dogecoin from 2015 to 2017 traded up a bit, but then there was always a big, huge dip that happened. What Alan's calling this breakdown here, the final breakdown, the last big dip before the rip. And then price accelerates up. So this happened 2016 into 2017. Guess what? 2018, 2019, bear market. But then right before there was an acceleration in 2020, we saw that last dip. That last dip happened. Before what? Before the rip. 2020 into 2021, Dogecoin's rip. And then what did we have? The second part of 2021, 2022, huge bear market. That was tough. Bear market for alts has continued into 2023. We had a nice run up a little earlier this year, up to 22 cents, but Doge has retraced a lot of that. We just had, last Monday, we just had a big dip down into the 8s for Dogecoin. Could that have been the last breakdown, that last dip before we rip? Or are we going to see another one still? That remains to be seen. But eventually, as we saw in 2016 into 2017, as we saw in 2020 into 2021, will we again see on the 4-year cycle a run up in the price 2024 into 2025? That is what we're waiting for. There's no guarantee that's going to happen, but it's happened before, and it's happened before. And for Bitcoin, you can even go back to 2012 and you can trace it back there too. Dogecoin wasn't made until the end of 2013, so it missed the first Bitcoin halving. But that's what we got. That's what this looks like. This is why I'm bullish on Doge, and also bullish on Doge because, as we've seen over the past year and a half, Bitcoin has far outperformed the rest of the crypto market, including Dogecoin. So we go to Bitcoin dominance. Actually, it's dropped below 57%. It's down to 56.85. But we come out here to the weekly on Bitcoin dominance, and what have we seen since the beginning of 2023? Well, Bitcoin dominance then was about 41%. It has just gone up and up and up. Bitcoin has shown its dominance over the past year and a half, going from about 40% up to 55, 56, and now touching even 57% now. Ben Cowan says this is going right up to 60. I don't know. Maybe we topped out here at 57.5. We'll see. But eventually, and I'll zoom this out a little more, Bitcoin dominance is going to go back down like that. When did this happen? When did Bitcoin dominance drop from 73% all the way down to 41%? When did that happen? It started in 2020 and went into 2021. Conveniently coinciding with this projected red chart of when Dogecoin is going to go on a run, 2024 into 2025. And that is when we will see Bitcoin dominance take the big nosedive. Because when the alts start moving, that's where the traders are going to want to be. They're going to want to be in the alts because the alts are going to accelerate higher than Bitcoin. And you're going to get greater returns on your investment in alts than you will get in Bitcoin. It happens again and again and again. Now, 73%. You say, Bitcoin isn't at 73%. It's only at like 57% now. What we're seeing is the diminishing returns, and the diminishing returns will continue to happen on Bitcoin. As Bitcoin gets bigger and bigger in price, bigger in market cap, its moves aren't as great. And we will see its dominance will be less and less and less each 4-year cycle. We're not going to see Bitcoin at 70% dominance. We may not even see 60%. Like I said, 57.5% might be it for this cycle. And then the next cycle will probably be even less. More crypto projects, as well as more investors betting on other crypto projects outperforming Bitcoin. The Bitcoin maxis don't like to hear that, right? But look what happened in 2020 to 2021. Bitcoin dominance took a nosedive. That is when you're going to want to be in alts, and particularly Doge. Most of this huge drop here was April and May of 2021. And that's when Doge was going to the moon. That's when you want to be in Doge. That's what I'm waiting for, is that. And that's why I continue to accumulate Doge, buy on the dips. Now, no guarantee that's going to happen. But here we are in these 4-year cycles, and it's happened again and again and again. So that's how I'm trading this. I'm not shorting. I'm not leverage longing, accumulating, buying on the dips, and waiting for this move. If Bitcoin goes down, Doge goes up? No. Doge goes up at a higher percentage than Bitcoin goes up. That's what this is. This is showing during this time, Bitcoin was going up in price, but the altcoins were going up in price much faster. That's what that's showing. At the beginning of this, we had Doge going up while Bitcoin was going down. But that wasn't, Doge itself wasn't enough in terms of market cap itself to make Bitcoin dominance to go down. But it was other coins like VeChain and others that were just accelerating at a much greater percentage than Bitcoin that caused this big drop in Bitcoin dominance. So that is what we're waiting for. And that's why accumulate, buy on the dips. And for the most part for Dogecoin, because there have been so many holders from years ago that have been patiently waiting, like yours truly right here with his 2-cent Dogecoin that he bought. That's why there are more Dogecoin wallets in the green out of all of the meme coins than there are on a percentage basis than any other of the top major meme coins. And we're waiting. We're waiting. So that's the big message today, is that. And I know it's tough seeing Doge 10.2 cents. Ah, look at it. It's up to 10.3 now. Look at us. Just getting back over my orange line here. Come on, Doge. I just want it to go now. Let's go. That's what we're waiting for. So let me get caught up here. I got a few more news stories, but let me get caught up in the chat here. What is going on? JS, altcoin season hasn't even started yet. Exactly. Bitcoin dominance is at the high of this cycle now at 57%. So yeah, Bitcoin is still outperforming the alts. Its dominance is still slightly going up. We may have just hit the peak though last week, and now we're going to see the alts take over. This could be happening right now. Bitcoin maxis won't admit that, but Kriss does. I'll admit it. Does transaction fees fall if Doge price is higher, or is it always the same amount? It's a calculation based on the congestion in the network. So the transaction fees actually go up the higher the volume of use on the network. So it's a factor of that. So it's not a factor of price. It's a factor of volume on the network in some manner like that. So a year ago, there were all these ordinals, the Doginals, right? That were being built on the Dogecoin network. And we saw Dogecoin fees accelerate. The price wasn't moving. The price of Doge wasn't moving, but the fees went up. And then eventually that whole thing just kind of faded out. And then the fees came right back down. So it's not directly related to the price. As Mars says, I have more Doge today than I did yesterday. This is the way. This is the way. Yeah, so why short in 2026 versus now? Yes, market makers could still wipe you out, but you have a better chance of shorting, of surviving that. Let me put it that way. You have a better chance of surviving the liquidations during a bear market than a bull market. It's still gambling and it's still a risk, and I'm not going to be using much, but I'm going to play with it a little bit. I'm going to play with it a little bit. Try and make a little money during a bear market. Most of my stuff is going to be out of crypto. I'm not going to have huge crypto holdings in 2026. I'm selling in 2025. Most of my crypto. I will keep some Bitcoin. I will always keep Dogecoin. But just about everything else, I'm probably going to be out of. Maybe SUI. I might keep some of the SUI depending on what's happening with the SUI network, because that's a long-term, like, huge thing, I think. But we'll see. Hey, Sebastian, I love you too. Welcome. What's your question? Doge starts to go high. At what point would you sell at least 50% of your Doge coins? Yeah. So most of the discussion we're going to be having about taking profits, I'm going to be holding off on for now, because Dogecoin is still 10 cents. It's just, We haven't even started to move yet. I mean, yeah, we saw it back in March, right? This big acceleration in Doge, and everybody was all excited. But Doge has faded back to 10 cents. So this fall, we're going to be talking about different strategies for taking profits and start to look at levels and what levels. But Doge hasn't even started to move again yet. So not ready to talk about those points yet. Okay. For 9 months, I'm trying to tell you, I don't know what you tried to tell me, Summels, but I've always been saying this summer was not going to be a great summer for crypto. And I just accumulate buying the dips. That's what I've been talking about. So I'm not quite sure what you mean. Why does Doge need a catalyst for it to pump when you have other alts pumping for no really good reason? Well, typically the whole market is going to move, right? Up and down, up and down. But individual alt projects get bits of news. And then you've got memes that can pump just because they pump, right? And Doge could be one of those. Right now, there's a tension in other memes, and we see other memes will pump sometimes for no reason. Sometimes there's some big purchases. It starts to go up. It gets somebody else's attention. They buy, and before you know it, you get a bunch of others buying, and the price accelerates. That can happen. Memes can do that for no really good reason. Yeah. I just think Doge has done that enough where most people are hesitating buying into Doge until there's actual news, an actual catalyst that's going to make it go up, because they lived through the hopium and all the Elon tweets of 2021 and maybe sold their Doge at a loss because they bought in, in the middle of the pump. And then when Doge's price went back down, they didn't want to hold it for 3 years and wait for it to go back up. And so they sold it at a loss. And so they wait. So it could be a lot of that. But yeah, Jason, this is going to be exciting. Just not today, unfortunately. Just not today. Happy Phil regrets buying Doge. And yeah, that can happen. But again, if you've been paying attention, you've been watching me, you knew all summer long we were going to be like this. And you guys have heard me. I mean, you're probably sick of me saying it. And you'll be glad when it's finally September and I'm not talking about the summertime anymore. But you guys know, even back in April, in fact, I even predicted in February that we would see a slowdown in the markets probably in May post Bitcoin halving, because that happens every year. But then you say, oh, Kriss, why didn't you just sell all your Doge then? Because I honestly didn't think the dip would be as deep as it went for Doge. To be honest, I wouldn't have been buying Doge at 13 cents if I thought it was going down to 10. I didn't think we would go this low. But here we are. So instead of having a regret or asking a stupid question like, why didn't you sell? Instead, you should be asking, what can I do about it now? How can I make money now going forward? Because the past is in the past now. You can't change that. You can't do anything about that. So what are you going to do now? Do you want to be on the Doge bandwagon or not? Then you got to decide that for yourself. I haven't sold my Doge. Hey, KB, how are you? Appreciate it. Hit the like button. Thank you for reminding people. Hit the like, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Appreciate that. Whiskey Mood bought 10,000 Doge at 10 cents. I don't think you're going to be regretting that. Who's going to flip Bitcoin in the future? Wow. I'm still guessing nobody. I don't think Bitcoin's going to get flipped. Bitcoin will remain the big daddy, number one. Like Solana is not going to flip Bitcoin. And then 5 years from now, somebody like goes back to this live stream and okay, you said it wouldn't flip it, and it did. You willing to bet on that? You going to bet on Solana flipping Bitcoin? I'm not. Buying $2,000 more worth soon? Yeah, the Bitcoin dominance. Still buying, adding Doge. Charles patiently waiting. Whiskey needs more. When is it going to go up? I wish I knew. I wish I had a crystal ball. And I could tell you exactly. We'll continue to look at the charts. We'll continue to look at what's going on. I mean, we still have this big wedge here, of which we're approaching the end of the wedge, which is September. So it's all still in play here. We'll see if that move actually happens. ETH is going to get the party started, Charles says. It could. ETH could be the real catalyst for alt season. Yes. Now those ETH ETFs, we can finally get a slowdown of that grayscale selling and then more buying happening on the ETH side. Yes. That could be. When Bitcoin dominance goes down, it's going to be crazy. Yes. Continue to move? I don't know what you mean. We're not going to see Doge move down to like 5 cents. No. I think we're seeing the bottom of this last part of the cycle here. In fact, last Monday, when Doge dropped down here to 8.1 cents, right there, that's it. In my opinion, that's it. We're not going to see that again. Too much anticipation for this. Too much anticipation. Now, is there going to be like some huge World War III event that's going to spook everybody out? It's going to be panic selling. That can happen anytime. We saw it in April. We saw it COVID. We had FTX, Celsius, Luna. We had those things. One of those things could happen at any time. Spook people out. They fear sell. But without one of those, no, we're not going to see that. Don't be waiting for 5 cent Doge. You'll just be sitting on that cash and then you'll be missing out on great returns. Yeah. You talk about 9 months of what's coming and then finally it moves. Yep. And the trick is to be there ready when the big move happens. Yep. That's how it works, particularly for Dogecoin. We talked about that last week. And you can even look at a 3-year period or actually the 4-year period, right? For 3 years and 9 months, Dogecoin is going sideways or down. But those other 9 months are glorious, right? Again, we see it right here on this chart. Those 9 months are glorious. Those 9 months are glorious. Well, in fact, in 2021, it wasn't even 9 months. It was close when that first little bit started, right? That's when you want to be in the game. And you don't know when those 9 months are going to start. Could be tomorrow for Dogecoin. Probably not, maybe September. But if you count from September, 9 months ahead, and you go to like next May, that'll be very similar to what we saw in 2020 into 2021. That's when you want to be in the game. But what can you do now is you can accumulate as much Doge as you can on these dips and be patient and wait for that to happen or that to happen or what we think is eventually going to happen this cycle. I'm just looking at charts and history. Again, no guarantee that's going to happen, but that's what I'm looking at. If Doge goes to $10, the transfer fee will be too expensive. Transfer or pay for something compared to other coins. No, it's not linked to price. It isn't. It's not linked to price. The fee is not linked to price. It's linked to volume on the blockchain. That's what it's linked to. Now, if everybody started using Dogecoin, the fee will go up. Yes. And that is what Elon was talking to the devs about back in 2022, 2021, about trying to solve with the code, is that when Dogecoin does become adopted and used, that fees don't spike up too much. And last year we saw kind of a test run on that with Dogenals, and Doge was okay, wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't at ETH levels for gas fees. It was still much, much cheaper than ETH, but it wasn't great. And I still think there's some room for improvement there. But in the same amount of volume, it'll cost you the same amount in a fee to move 1,000 Doge, whether the price is 10 cents or $10. Okay? I will sell 90% of all my crypto by next summer. AMR, I am with you. I am with you. Matt doesn't play around with coins. I buy low, hold, sell high for things that I'm convicted in, which is Dogecoin and Bitcoin. Flips this cycle, melts faces. I know, Jason. I don't know. Dogecoin is fun. Investing is serious, which is what makes Dogecoin so interesting, isn't it? Isn't that what makes Dogecoin interesting? I look at it this way. I look at it like, well, sort of like Elon, right? He loves the memes, right? Despite the seriousness of things, he always finds the humor, makes jokes, even about things that are serious. Why? I mean, why not? You don't want to take yourself so seriously. You gotta have fun in life, right? Gotta have a little fun. I mean, Dogecoin is at 10 cents, right? A lot of people are down on their investment, but I mean, do you get all worried about it? Does it mess up your life? Does it make you depressed? I would much rather have Dogecoin at 20 cents or 30 cents or even higher. Yeah, but that's not what it is. Is it going to like ruin my day? Nope. Yep, past is gone. Does anyone have a question for the Magic 8 Ball? Will Doge hit $1 by next year? Will Dogecoin become a top 3? Those are both good questions. When will Doge reach 30 cents? I can only ask the Magic 8 Ball yes or no questions. You're waiting 3 years and you're in a loss. Yeah, Boyd, we were talking about this earlier in the stream about the percentage of Dogecoin wallets that are in profit. And unfortunately, you're one of those that's in the red. But you're in a minority, which doesn't help you feel better. But you do want Doge to turn around and go up higher. I get that. When is this going to happen? I can't tell you. I don't know. When does this acceleration at least get to the point where it goes over 30 cents? I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. I'd just be trading it and making lots of money. Imagine we go to fill the weekly fair value gap. Dating back to January of 2021. No. I didn't want to hear it that it was going to 10. You're true. You're right. I didn't think Dogecoin would go back to 10 cents. I thought there would be enough support and enough anticipation waiting for this bull cycle to play out that you wouldn't see so much selling of Dogecoin. Unfortunately, I think a lot of that was based on the other meme tokens and people just chasing other memes. And so they were selling Doge and chasing whatever the next new shiny object was, hoping to hit a jackpot. So there was a lot of that. Probably more than I thought would happen. So yeah, I didn't anticipate that. You're right. Spectre once asked the Magic 8 Ball if Doge is going to go to 2 cents. So should the question be one about Doge going up or Doge going down? So we've got either Dogecoin hits $1, Dogecoin becomes top 3, or Doge goes down to 2 cents. Do you want the Magic 8 Ball question to be an up question or a down question? Which way do we want to hear it? Or will Kriss's August price prediction be accurate? Yeah, but that's not sexy enough, right? That's only 20 cents. Well, still double from here, which would be good. But that's not the bigger question, like Doge to $1 next year. That's a big question. Or Doge dropping to 2 cents. That's a big question. Ooh. Do I think Doge is going to reach 45 cents? It could. I mean, I didn't call out the numbers, but you look at Alan's chart here, and he's got Doge going over $2. Again, he just used this fractal from 2021, which I kind of find it hard to believe that we're going to see that same percentage of gain. It depends on what is it that's causing Doge to go up. Is it just more hopium? Or is there something real behind it? That's the question. Up and uppity up we have votes for. All right. We are going to go with, and thank you for Denise for asking people to put questions in. We're going to go with, will Doge hit $1 by next year? So this is Charles's question. Thank you, Charles. Appreciate it. Magic 8 Ball is right here. The Magic 8 Ball. I'm going to shake it up. Magic 8 Ball. Will Doge hit $1 by next year? Magic 8 Ball says, it's on the side. Signs point to yes. Signs point to yes. There you go. Magic 8 Ball has said it. Signs point to yes. Thank you, Magic 8 Ball. Good question. Are we ready? Phil says, I'll be happy to break even and sell. And that is a legitimate response to what's happened this summer for Doge. Absolutely. Just let me get back to my buy-in price. Let me just not lose money and I'll move on. I get it. And there are a lot of people who don't believe this is going to happen. And I can't tell you one way or the other, but I mean, Doge had this big run in 2017 and it went up a higher percentage than Bitcoin did. And there wasn't anything going on with Doge at the time. I mean, Elon Musk wasn't even involved. There's nothing. Doge went up though, and it was a bigger percentage than Bitcoin. Now this one, 2021, we know what was going on then. That was crazy. Huge percentage gain. Like I said, I don't think this percentage gain is going to be as great as that, but it could be 2016 to 2017 all over again. And that's just Doge family buying more Doge. When Bitcoin starts really moving, maybe in October, right? We could see Bitcoin going up. And this whole Bitcoin dominance thing, as Bitcoin dominance then starts going down, alt season takes off, you're going to want to be in alts. And you will see the FOMO hit. And a lot of people are going to be buying Dogecoin. Particularly, like I said before, if Bitcoin exceeds $100,000 a Bitcoin, that news is going to be everywhere. Bitcoin, $100,000 a coin. And then you're going to get new traders coming in and they're going to start a Robinhood account, right? And then they're going to see Bitcoin at $100,000 a Bitcoin and they're going to say, well, that's too expensive. I'm not going to buy that. That's out of my price range. What else can I buy? And then they see Dogecoin. And they've heard about Dogecoin before. And they say, Dogecoin is 20 cents a Doge. I'm going to buy Doge. And then it snowballs from there. That's what we saw in 2021. Bitcoin was $60,000 a Bitcoin. And Dogecoin was 10, 15, and moving up. 16, 20 cents. It moved up fast. As you can see by this chart, it moved up fast. Yeah, I know, Ryan. I get it. But that's true for the stock market too. It's the same thing. The same thing happens with stocks. You saw what happened with NVIDIA and how many people are buying NVIDIA. No difference. So you got a bunch of NVIDIA stockholders now that are in the red because they bought with all of that FOMO that was kicking in there before the halving happened, or the stock split, not the halving, the stock split, right? So it can happen regardless of whether it's a Dogecoin or a Bitcoin or a stock. Have I sold any? Not this cycle. Last cycle, I played a little bit of swing trading, which I swore off this cycle. Wasn't going to do it. I probably did overall, on average, I did better on the swing trading than if I had just not done anything. But I lost some too on a couple of trades, but I gained more on others. And then it was just like, yeah, I'm not going to swing trade. And then I bought some things like my Tesla Cyber Whistle that I showed you guys, right? I bought that with Dogecoin. So it wasn't selling Doge, it was using it to actually buy things. Bought a bunch of movie tickets. AMC, use the app, pay for it in Doge. But sell for profit? Nope. I haven't done that. Have not done that yet. Ryan says you've heard it here first. Doge to $1. Buy Doge. The Magic 8 Ball has spoken. Even if I'm in a loss, but based on my experience in the last 4 years, Doge is performing well and more stable than other Web3 metaverse hyped cryptos. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was all of that hype going on about metaverse. Bunch of people bought into that. And the whole Web3 thing just, it's not as big as people thought it could be, at least by this point. It still may turn into something like that, but maybe metaverse actually does happen in some manner like that, but is crypto really gonna like be a difference maker in a metaverse? It's like, what do you use the crypto for? Unless you're like in that movie. What was that movie a few years ago? What was it? Player One. Ready Player One. Remember that movie? Ready Player One. And there were all those coins, right, that you could collect. That is the metaverse right there. Ready Player One. Yeah, we're not ready for that yet. We're not ready for that yet. There's your Web3 metaverse, is Ready Player One. That's the ticket. That was a cool movie. The media always tells you about runs after they happen, never before. All right. And your grandmother asking you, what's this crypto or Bitcoin thing? When they start asking, it's like, okay, might be time to sell. Might be time to sell. Right. And that's when I start looking at that Portofino. Right. The Ferrari Frappuccino. Yeah. Exactly. Hey, Charles, you're welcome. And Doge to $1. Magic 8 Ball has spoken. Superlight, how much Doge should I buy? You guys can tell him. You guys can tell him how much money you got. How's your overall wealth, right? What's your net worth? Then we can figure out how much Doge you buy. It's up to you and your risk tolerance, how much you'd want to put in crypto. Again, it's risky. You don't know what's going to happen. McDonald's, how are you? Good to see you as well. Metaverse will only work during a pandemic. Does your cat know that you prefer a dog coin? He was mad at me this morning. I forgot to feed him last night. His bowl was empty. He was mad. It's like, oh. He let me hear it. Yeah, demanding little guy. Hey, his life is great, right? It's still summertime, windows are open, gets to sit in the window, watch the world go by. He's doing good. He's doing good. Spectre, blockchain, AI, quantum, all good. You know, overall, I still think we're so early in crypto. So early in crypto. What's going on with Bitcoin? Look, Bitcoin's set for explosive growth. Explosive growth. Tomas, Bitcoin to 100K by the end of the year. There you go. Super bull run is on the horizon. Super bull run. Explosive growth for Bitcoin. Right? We're talking about Dogecoin, but I mean, look. New all-time high looms for Bitcoin with super bull run. And with that, I think altcoins are going to outperform again because people are going to see Bitcoin going up and say, okay, that's it for Bitcoin. I'm going to get better returns with alts, so I'm going to buy alts, which Michael Vanderpop already did last month, and he was too early. And he admits it. He's like, okay, it's the right play, but I did it too early. I did it way too early because I've been accumulating alts for a year and a half. So compared to where I would be if I just bought Bitcoin, I'm behind. So I need alt season to catch back up as if I just bought Bitcoin. But that aside, what's going on with Bitcoin? What is going to cause Bitcoin to go on a super bull run? Well, it's scarcity. That's what it is. Bitcoin is got a hard cap. There's only so many. It does its halving every 4 years, like we talked about. And the more that gets accumulated by the big guys, the less Bitcoin there is for everybody else. And that is what is happening. Goldman Sachs is betting big on Bitcoin with a $419 million investment in Bitcoin. Now, it's through the ETFs, and we've been watching these Bitcoin spot ETFs and all the inflows. Goldman Sachs just revealed in one of their filings that they own a crap ton of these Bitcoin ETFs. They aren't one of those that runs an ETF. They're now just buying the ETFs and putting those on their books as part of their investment strategy. $419 million they've spent on accumulating Bitcoin. But wait, it's not just them. Morgan Stanley has bought $187 million in Bitcoin for its own fund. This is what has kept Bitcoin from dropping down from the highs we saw back in March as much as the alts have dropped. You have the big boys accumulating Bitcoin. Retail hasn't even shown up. Retail has not even shown up this cycle. This is on the backs of the big boys. The reason Bitcoin went up over its previous cycle all-time high was the ETFs. And you have these guys seeing the potential that Bitcoin has in the long term, which is what they bet on, long-term gains. And they've got a ton already tied up in Bitcoin. And the ETFs just gave them the ability to buy them because they weren't just going to buy the cryptocurrency. So they buy the ETF. Personally, they should have just bought the crypto, but apparently maybe there's some reason why they couldn't just buy directly the crypto. $187 million for Morgan Stanley, $419 million for Goldman Sachs. And these are the only ones, these are the ones we only know about. How many others haven't reported yet all their big, now new Bitcoin holdings? A lot. A lot. This is the key, I think, to what's going to happen with this next big bull run in Bitcoin, because these guys aren't selling. They're not selling. And so that's less and less Bitcoin available. And as retail then catches on and starts buying in again, say this fall, to be part of the big super bull run that's coming, it could accelerate prices. And particularly when Bitcoin makes a new all-time high and then starts getting close to 100K. I know we're not there yet. We're just sitting here in August with 10-cent Dogecoin, but you can see how it's building. You can see how it's building. Eric Balkunis says, didn't realize the US ETFs are on track to pass Satoshi in Bitcoin held. So if you add up the number of Bitcoins that are being held in all of the spot ETF, the 11 ETF holders, it's almost 1.1 million, which is the amount that's in the Satoshi wallet. Again, the Satoshi wallet is the Bitcoin that Satoshi mined when Bitcoin was first let out into the world, let's say. Because Satoshi himself, herself, itself, whatever, was doing most of the mining of Bitcoin when Bitcoin started. And accumulated over 1 million Bitcoin. And it's just sitting there in the Satoshi wallet. Binance has 550 million, but now look at BlackRock. BlackRock in their ETF holding now has 347 million Bitcoins. Here's MicroStrategy at 226 million. That'll keep going up. Michael Saylor's not selling any. Here's the US government at 213 million. That could be going down a bit if some more is sold. Now, if Trump becomes president, Trump has promised that during his presidency that they would not sell any Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean the Biden administration might not sell. So, interesting chart. But again, that is what I think is really going to be the trigger on the Bitcoin side for the super bull run, is really tied to that scarcity and more retail buyers than this fall wanting to have some Bitcoin in their wallet, on their books, in their portfolio. And it's just going to accelerate. Which means Doge most likely is going to go up as well, even without Doge news. It did it, again, it did it back here, 2016 into 2017. There was nothing going on with Dogecoin then. Again, 2021 was a lot of hype, Elon memes and tweets and stuff, all of that. Saturday Night Live anticipation, all of that led to that big, huge FOMO into Doge. Will we get that again at that scale again? Again, as I've been saying, I think that's going to be more if Doge is actually like integrated into X and will be utility based. That would cause that huge run. But to get up to maybe $1, Doge could do that without that big catalyst. Magic 8 Ball thinks so. What about Cardano? $1 ADA, highly imminent as Cardano sees record holder confidence despite the price lull. Is Cardano really going to get back up to $1? I mean, personally, I would love it. I've got a bunch of 24-cent Cardano or ADA tokens that I would love to have a 4x on and be up over $1. We'll see. Into the block, though, looking at on-chain analysis, looking at the same kind of thing we were looking at for Doge, there's a lot of long-term investors who have just been with Cardano for a long time. And they're going to wait for that next big price increase. During the last cycle, Cardano experienced significant growth, positioned as a strong alternative to Ethereum. However, in the current cycle, the network faces challenges in attracting new users, with much of the attention shifting towards platforms like Solana and Base. And that is true. There's been a lot of building going on Base. Solana got into the whole meme thing this year. Less on Base. I think Base probably has more real projects on it than Solana. I don't know for sure. I don't really follow it that closely. But Cardano's fundamentals remain strong. And we could see, particularly with this Chang hard fork coming up, there could be significant improvements in the network. We'll see what happens. Again, we're still early in this whole crypto adoption thing. We don't know who the winners are going to be in the end. We don't know. Usually it takes a while. There'll be a bunch of players and eventually the weak ones will drop out. That happens in any new technology. And I think crypto, blockchain is a new technology. The last bull run was nuts. It sure was, particularly with Doge. That was nuts. Fear of Paul is heavy on Litecoin. Good luck with your Litecoin. I remember the bank saying, don't buy Bitcoin. And a lot of banks couldn't. Now they can buy those ETFs. Even if you don't like Bitcoin because you're a bank, right? You think Bitcoin may be like competing against the bank. Do you want to make money? Do you want to make money? Buy some Bitcoin. So, yeah. Yep. Mara has been mining CAS for a year. They could have been mining some Doge too. I don't know. I don't know who all the Doge miners are, the big mining. I don't know. Doge is easier to mine, doesn't require the same amount of processing power as Bitcoin. There's not as much competition, and particularly because new block is made every minute versus every 10 minutes for Bitcoin. But I don't do any mining myself, so I don't know the particulars there. But as we showed, here's the Dogecoin. The Dogecoin chain, right? Here's all the new blocks, 10,000 Doge every minute. Not a lot of transactions right now. Only 9 transactions in 1 minute. 8 transactions in 1 minute. That's pretty slow. This one only 4. So yeah, volume is really down right now on Doge. Look at that, only 4 transactions in a minute on Dogecoin. That is slow. That is really low. Sorry, not slow. It's low. Wow. It's summertime. It's still summertime. You won't see 4 transactions in a minute this fall for Doge. You won't see it. All right, gang, that's what we've got for Doge. Again, most are in profit. I know there are some of you that your average is higher than the current price. But again, we're looking for the banana zone coming. Guaranteed, no, but the anticipation is certainly there, and it's across the board. And I haven't sold. I'm waiting for that too. I want to make money, and I'm not going to miss out. That's my plan. Have a plan. Stick to it. Hope everybody's well. I'll be live again Friday at 4 o'clock. Join then. Until then, I hope everyone has a good evening. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.